Hi there, it's Anne here on the Life LDC couch. It is Saturday, April the 11th, and I just thought I'd pop in and give you a little update on what's happening around here during this whole stay at home, stay safe experience that we're all having around the world. I hope everybody's doing okay as best you can under the circumstances. Life is going on here pretty much like normal. We never were big go out types. So, except for the fact that I have to think about when I'm going grocery shopping. We have these special hours for seniors. We have to get up really early and go grocery shopping. So I do that once a week. Other than that, you know, take Lackey out for walks. We go around the yard. If the road's not busy, we go up and down the road, and we watch movies. Now, the first thing you might notice here is that the Life LDC couch is a little bit different. We have a new couch. This all started before the whole world apocalypse event started to happen. We had decided that the old couch was, while still in great shape and it looked great, both of us we're getting older, and it was quite a low couch. You sank right into it, and of course with age you sank even more. And so we noticed that it was bothering the backs of our legs and you know, our backs in general. So the hubby gave me the incentive to get out and buy a new couch, which I did. And the idea was that it was going to arrive Friday, the 28th of March, and I was going to have been back from my trip to the UK I was supposed to be at the Marie Wallen retreat down in Devon. Now, for a couple of weeks before leaving, I was getting very anxious about the whole thing, and luckily I actually had decided to not go. I canceled before Marie actually canceled the whole thing. There was just no way I was going to go. So anyway, the whole couch deal was supposed to happen when I got back. So carried on, you know, I was home, things got difficult. Everybody was supposed to be staying at home and staying safe. And here we were having this couch delivery. And I had heard that people had bought couches and then, sorry, I'm right at a critical point here in my knitting. And they had been dropped off on their driveways and been delivered into the house. So I was a little bit anxious about that, on top of all the other anxiousnesses in the world. Another bad aspect of the whole thing was the fact that Habitat for Humanity was supposed to pick up our old couch. I'd sent them a picture, gave them information on it. Yes, they wanted it. They were to pick it up. So they couldn't pick it up. So we had to decide what to do about that. Also, I didn't want to throw it away. There's nothing wrong with it. It's going to have a lot of years of good life. So anyway, that's what you see back here. The couch itself split into two pieces. One is back here and one's over there. And the matching chair that used to sit over there is now in that corner. Now, luckily, we had the space in the living room. It felt very crowded, but actually we're getting very used to it. So it's not really bothering us at all. And we're getting used to our new, much firmer, definitely more low profile, more profile couch, but I love it. So this is the new Life LDC couch. To see, is it better with the cushion behind me to keep me? Yes, maybe it is. No, maybe not. I'll just get pushed right back into the corner there. So anyway, so that's one thing that's new. Another thing that's new, you might see back there, there's a chair. Well, that is one of my I call it my auxiliary dining room chairs. And it usually sits up there in the corner, but I have started an exercise program, an online exercise program. I'll plug it here. It's called Grow Young Fitness. I will put a link in the information box below this video. It's based from the US. It's a nice young guy called Darren, and of course it's for seniors. And maybe 18 months ago, I did the first 7 workouts as a freebie. And I remember thinking, oh, this is not for me. I'm much fitter than this. I need to be, vigorously doing exercises, geez, this is not for me. Well, I had to realize that I wasn't as young as I might think I was. And of course, my birthday's coming up in May. So another year older and maybe another year wiser. And I thought, well, there's no use joining something if it's going to be so far above your skill level that you don't want to do it. I have good flexibility. I've always sort of maintained my flexibility, but my balance wasn't great. And sure, I could use some strengthening exercises. And so anyway, I bit the bullet. I signed up and I started doing my exercise program. Well, I got to tell you, first few classes I did, I remember thinking, oh, geez, this is nothing. But I couldn't do the balance. I couldn't count to 5 and hold my legs up, and I couldn't, and I actually felt it the next day, and I thought, okay, fine. So I carried on, and there are different levels of exercise. I'm still on the first level, but I'm really, really noticing a difference. So it's really been an eye-opener for me, and I'm really happy that I joined up, and I want to encourage all of you knitters sitting out there. We have to get up and move somehow during this whole confinement time. Sorry, my mind is racing. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of Zoom calls with friends and a lot of telephone calls with friends, and I've been actually having much more interaction than I normally would have, and it fills your brain up with all these things that you're thinking about, and they've got suggestions of things that they're doing, and why don't you try it too, and all that. But one of the podcasts I watch is the Truly Myrtle podcast, Libby Johnson, and she is is it Australia or New Zealand? I think it's Australia. Maybe not. I should look that up. I'll put it down below where she is. And I am subscribed to her newsletter, and she has these weekly chats. And this week she talked about the fact that she woke up and decided that she couldn't hang around anymore and just be in limbo with all this. She had to take charge because this was the rest of her life. And that really resonated with me. You can't get up every day and say you're not going to do something or whatever because of what's happening. You have to get on to a new reality. This is our new reality. We don't know how long it's going to last. We have to carry on. So that was a light bulb moment for me, and I've had a better attitude towards everything just after listening to her talk about that. I don't have any time. I'm baking up a storm. I just made mincemeat tarts. We're having good meals every night. We're having 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. My fridge is stocked. I've got leftovers all the time, and so that keeps me going. Every day I've got that to do. I've got my exercises to do. I've got my knitting to do. I've got to take Lackey out for a walk. He gets out because we're not going to the park. We go out at least twice, and wander around the yard and up and down the road, whatever. So I'm busy. We're watching things on Netflix, and having some quiet time at night and reading books and everything. So while all the hubbub is going around outside, and I try not to watch the news too much, I just try to focus more on my own life. I want to give you a tip that I have just discovered. As a knitter, I've been subscribed to all sorts of newsletters, and every day these newsletters are coming in. They're hammering me with, you know, this and that, and new this and new that and whatever. And I took myself off of a bunch of those newsletters. Things that I maybe, you know, I don't know why I subscribe. They're interesting. They're companies that I'd like to know about. But in reality, am I ever going to order from them? No. So I don't need to know what they're up to. And I cut myself down to 5 newsletters. 5. And they come in. Some of them are very, quite often, maybe they might be weekly and others might be monthly or whatever, but I'm just focusing on 5. Now, focusing on 5 got me into the current predicament I'm in. I was doing so well with my Stash Happy reduction until I saw the newest design by Tanis Fiber Arts, and it's called City Limits. And it was something to do, it was something that she was going to debut at a pattern she was going to debut at the Knit City Montreal. Well, Knit City Montreal, all the other knit festivals, was canceled. So she brought it out on her own website. And of course, she had knit, sorry, I'm trying to count at the same time. Can't do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 underarm stitches. She brought out fade kits for her new City Limits sweater. Have you seen it? She calls it a casual, it's sort of like a sweatshirt design, and it's a worsted weight. It's designed to be knit in worsted weight, but her specific one that she did, she used 2 strands of fingering plus 1 strand of mohair, the mohair being optional. So anyway, I looked at it and I thought, well, that's really pretty, and you know, I'm sure I can find something in my stash to knit that up with, which I could have. I have some fingering that I could have, but I loved the idea of a fade. And when when she published the fades that her and her husband were creating for this sweater for an update, I fell in love with one that was called the Spicy Fade, because it was mentioned to be sort of a replica of Tanis's marled Metropolis, which she made. She did her Metropolis sweater with a bunch of, like, all her different leftovers, because I'm sure she's got 1,000,001 leftovers from all her colors and everything. And I love that. I love the color of that. And I will ask Tanis if I can use a picture of her marled Metropolis here. So it's very colorful. It starts off with a neutral at the top, goes down through yellows and sort of pinkies, and then gets darker as it goes down the bottom. So the colorway that I wanted and was able to get in the update was the spicy colorway. You can see it here. Beautiful, beautiful, saturated, beautiful colors. And I quickly wound them up, made myself a swatch. I've got to admit, I did the tiniest of swatches that I thought I could get away with. Oh, I also bought the Metropolis mohair to see if I wanted to have mohair with my sweater. So when I did my swatch, I did half of my mini swatch with mohair and half without. Now, this sweater is designed really to have the reverse stocking stitch on the front. And I loved this reverse stocking stitch here without the mohair. I thought the mohair was lovely, but it toned down the colors, and I wanted the really strong colors of the Marled Metropolis. Even though when I read the instructions, the details of that pattern, it's done with holding a strand of mohair along with it. So anyway, so I'm knitting along here. I've just got to the point where I'm separating for the arms. So I'm on the row on the underarms. And as soon as I get to the end of it, I'll show you what I am doing. So anyway, back to the newsletters. My suggestion, if you're getting distracted and maybe having too much information overload, unsubscribe for a while to some of those newsletters. Just focus on the things that are really important to you. Keep in touch with what your local yarn store is doing. Have you got a favorite local dyer? When I say local, I sort of mean nowadays within your own country. It's going to be, I think it's going to be really hard for international mailing of stuff. Maybe, you know, maybe it's going to get there, but it's might take forever. There's hardly any planes flying. My husband watches Flight Tracker, and you know, we're not that far from the Toronto airport. We're about 40 minutes drive from the Toronto airport, and the planes sometimes, I think we are right on one of the landing pattern strips. Some nights I feel like there's a plane going to land on top of our house, especially in the summer. I don't know, they seem to be low, and you can actually even see the lights coming. It's like, oh, here comes a plane. I exaggerate, but not by that much, to be honest. They seem to be quite low. There's hardly any planes around. I go out when I take Lackey out at night. Right now, I love to go out and just look up. Just spend 10 minutes outside, sit down on the rail, look up on the rail of the deck. Just spend 10 minutes and look up. And if it's a clear night, the stars are bright. You can see the occasional satellite zooming by because it's moving instead of being stationary. But the sky itself is really, really quiet. No planes, no noise, no nothing. It's quite amazing. So I would say restrict yourself a little bit of all the information that's coming in at you, and try and limit that. Just if nothing else, it stops the FOMO, the fear of missing out. You don't want to miss out on this knit along or that whatever. Now, there are some knit alongs that are not entirely commercially based. Now, of course, when a company starts, of course they want you to buy their yarn. So for example, right now, Rowan has the Elder Throw. It is designed by Lisa Richardson. They've had throws designed by Martin Story in the past, a throw by Kay Fassett. Lisa did a crochet throw, and now this is a patchworky type throw by Lisa. Yes, if you want to knit it exactly like Lisa, you do have to buy yourself some Rowan felted tweed. You might be like me and you have a whole bunch of felted tweed downstairs. It might not be the right colors, but if I want to knit it up, I could do it. I could knit it no problem. Or if you've got a stash, if you've got a lot of DK weight, just knit from stash. The pattern is free, and that's the great thing about it. The pattern is free, so you don't have to. It's nice, of course, the company is in doing it to encourage you to buy their yarn because it does look beautiful. But if you choose not to, they don't hold you to ransom for the pattern. So that is that's the kind of knit along that you might want to take advantage of right now at this time. Use your stash, join and knit along. Okay, I'm just moving my beginning of row marker to the stitch, the middle of the cast on stitches for my first underarm. I'll just knit the next stitch. So here is my city limits so far. I love this pattern. It has short row shaping for the back neck, so the back neck is much higher than the front. I love that fine detail. It's going to give a nice neckline finish. It is a raglan shaping. I love that. There's a little bit of detail on the raglan in that there are 2 stitches. This is the stocking stitch side, so the 2 stitches on the raglan are purled. But Tanis shows you, or knit her sweater and wears it with the reverse stocking stitch as the right side. And I sort of like that too. I'm going to wait till the whole thing is finished to decide which way I really want to wear it. Or maybe I'll finish it carefully and be able to wear it both sides. I'm thinking that I like the stronger colors of the stocking stitch side. So I'm at the point, what you do is you're marling colors out. You're holding 2 strands of fingering weight at the same time. So I use this top color. I don't even know the names of them. The labels are downstairs. 2 strands of it. Then you drop 1 strand and you put the yellow strand in with it. The next color is yellow. Then you drop that first color and you go into 2 strands of the yellow, which is this nice bright at the bottom here. And I've just got to the point where now I'm going to break off 1 strand of the yellow. Break off 1 strand of the yellow. And I'm going to add this absolutely gorgeous pinky corally shade to knit along with the strand of yellow. And that will marl in on the next sequence of rows that I'm going to do. So then, of course, then after that, the yellow will drop. I'll use 2 strands of this and carry on all the way down the body of the sweater. I've now reached the part where I can just knit. And this is, that was one of the reasons why I think I wanted to do this. I want something that I could just knit, 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 knit. And I'm at that point. I can just knit, knit, knit down the body, count the rows. I needed something soothing to knit with at night while watching TV. I'm still doing my Marie Wall throw, but it does require concentration. It is chart work, and I just needed something to play off of that chart work knitting sometimes. So that's why I decided to do this. What are you knitting these days? Are you finding that you can concentrate? Are you finding that you can't concentrate? Do you think you need to have a soothing knit also? I need to start another sock tube too. I need to do one for my hubby. I haven't done a sock tube sock for him yet. Another podcast that I'm getting lots of fun out of these days is Marianne Lecoeur, French chic from a French woman, confidence and style. Now she's written books on how to dress and everything. I don't know, I think she's the reason why I sort of started loving stripes again. I always felt that stripes made me look bigger, but I think narrower stripes are better than big broad stripes. And hopefully marled stripes won't make me look bigger. Anyway, I like watching her. She's fun, she's cute, she's I love the way she talks about scarves and whatever. And maybe someday I'll go to Paris and I'll dress like Parisian when I get there. Anyway, she's somebody that I'm I get a kick out of when I watch her videos, whether or not they're relevant or not. I just like to watch them. Are you doing Zoom virtual knit nights? My little knitting group that met once a month before all this hit the fan, we now meet weekly. I organize a Zoom meetup, send out the link, and we sit and chat, mostly about the crazy stuff that's going on, but we do talk about knitting too. And it's very soothing. It's nice to have someone to talk to about our good stuff as well as the crazy stuff. So have you tried Zoom? I know there was a concern about security, but the security, when you're having a knitting night, is not like, they're not getting into your computers or anything. What was happening, I gather, was that hackers were hacking into, or trying to hack into high-level meetings or official business presentations and doing naughty things. Well, they're not going to do that to your knit night. And if they do, all the power to them. If that turns their crank, you just hit the button and you kick them out of your room. That's all you do. So try Zoom, and you can have free 40-minute meetings without having to pay anything. And I think it's a great service. It's something that we have to do because commerce is actually still happening everywhere, even while we are all locked in. People are still working, people are doing their job, people need to talk to people in other locations, and they can't get there, they can't jump on a plane and get there anymore, so they're using Zoom. So that's what I'm up to. I'm knitting my Marie Wallen blanket, I'm knitting my City Limits sweater. That's about it. Thank everybody who watches my videos. The subscriber list is going up slowly, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate every comment, and it's important right now during this crazy time to keep in touch the best way we can. So I want you all to stay home, stay safe, happy knitting, and we'll see you soon. Take care, bye-bye.